Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Heart for the Community Initiative. We are back with episode 13 of the Black Business Spotlight. We have two dynamic and successful young ladies with us. And I know that young is a relative term, but we're going to use it this evening, all right? So we're going to say welcome in to all of you who are already with us and our live audience. We do thank God for you. There are many things that you could be doing. There might even be many things that you should be doing, but we are glad that you're here with us. We're going to ask all of you who are with us in the live audience, and we do see a few of you. God bless you. The Gary Holland is here. Thank you, Pastor Gary Holland. And he says, "Hey, Elder Clarke." And my wife, Tisha, is with us. I'm going to ask those of you who are with us if you would please begin to share this live broadcast. Also, if you could begin tagging your friends. We find great success when we begin tagging our friends, let them know, hey, listen, this is a great thing. So if you're catching us on Twitter, tag your fans on Twitter. If you're catching us on Facebook, tag them on Facebook. If you're catching us on YouTube, holla, holla, holla. Let somebody know that we're here, we're live, and we're about to talk to these tremendous business owners, these entrepreneurs, these very successful ladies. And I love having these conversations because you think that you know people. You think that you know their stories. You think that you know their businesses. But it has been my experience that these entrepreneurs are really multi-talented people, and they have so much going on, and nobody can really tell it like them. So in just a few moments, we're going to have our entrepreneurs this evening to begin to tell their own stories. But like I said, for you in the live audience, I do want you to begin to tag your friends, share the broadcast, let someone know that Heart for the Community Initiatives 2022 Black Business Spotlight is on. And I want to say this, and I'll say it again towards the end of the broadcast. If you are a business owner, you're a business owner in the DMV, that's the DC, Virginia, Maryland area, and you want to be a part of what's going on here with the Black Business Spotlight, you may want to spotlight your business. You may want to come on and tell people about what you're doing in your business. No matter what that is, contact us. Let us know who you are, and we'll certainly be in contact with you to let you know. Some of these business owners that I've interviewed, I did not know them before. I met them through this exchange of saying, hey, I'm interested in what you're doing down there, and I want to be a part of it. So now some I knew, but some I have not known. For example, tonight, I did not know who Miss Natasha was. She was introduced to me, and now, to be honest with you, I can't even remember how. Maybe by Pastor Holland, I can't remember. But Laura Sha, I've seen Laura Sha in some of the local community events here, and that's how we got to know each other. And let me tell you, she is a dynamic, talented, outspoken person. And we love Laura Sha in these. You know I'm telling the truth about you. So, audience, this is what we're going to do. Hey, listen, Brother Enoch there in Uganda. Thank you, brother, for joining us. And listen, he says, please visit us in Uganda. I tell you what, as soon as we figure out something a little better with COVID, I am going to be in several parts of Africa, and Uganda is one of my stops. So you and I will keep in touch, and maybe there will be some ministry for Tisha and I to do in Uganda. But we got to do something about this COVID first. Amen. Somebody say amen. All right. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to ask our two business owners to introduce themselves and their businesses to you. We're going to start with Natasha. She's going to unmute herself in just a moment, and she's going to tell you all about who she is and what she does. And when she comes to conclusion on that, we're going to ask Miss Laura Sha. I know you're looking at that name. It took me 2 years to learn how to pronounce it, and I hope she tells me this evening that I'm pronouncing it correctly. All right. So, Miss Natasha, I want you to tell the audience about you and what you do.
Oh, to God be the glory. Thank you so much, sir, for having me on. I was introduced to you via social media through Pastor Gary Holland, one of my pastors from our church family back in Dumfries, Virginia, Word of Faith Christian Fellowship Church. So thank you for having me on. Got an opportunity to uh, see what this platform was all about. So this is an honor for me to join in because I'm a baby in the business. I literally just started my LLC. So I am Natasha Sunday Clarke, born in Clanton, Alabama, but a native of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Um, 20-year military veteran, still serving active duty, current commander of the New England Recruiting Battalion. So I am currently located in the great state of Massachusetts. So it's beautiful here. The weather is really great. I'm a wife. My husband, James Clarke, I call him Jay, and we have two biological children, our two, Jasmine and JC. James, he likes to be called James now. And then I have three bonus children, Ashante, Jessica, and Brandon. So pretty diverse family was spread out across the continental United States of America. Like I said, I just started my business, actually establishing it as an LLC this past January. It's called GEM, Grow Empower Media. And I got the concept for one of my sorority members who's also like a sorority mentor, and a guide and a blessing, where she allowed me to participate in a project where 20 women came together to talk about how the pandemic helped us pursue our passions. And so the title of the book is called Pivot. You can get it online at Amazon.com. You can go to our social media platforms. You'll see the links in there, where each of us are talking about how what the pandemic did for us over a 1 to 2 year period, how we persevered and how we got through the pandemic through our faith. Many of us shared some very deep testimonies. Mine was a testimony and some deep stories. I see my best friend on, Marcia Thompson, in the book. I don't mention her name, but I call her my no matter what, because she was definitely there for me during my one of my toughest times that I dealt with in my life. And so I thank her for that. But that's all about me. I do a lot. Um, like I said, wife, mother, working on the author. We do a webinar each month with the book series for Pivot. What we found is that a lot of people needed a safe space where they could come to just talk, not worry about people go behind their back and they're gossiping about them. And so we formed this webinar. So the 17th of each month, it's for men and women. There's no age limit on it because, we're getting wiser, not older. So I like to say I'm getting wiser. We go in and we just talk, and we cry, we shout. We had praise and worship a couple of sessions ago. It's been great. So I look forward to the conversation and the dialogue. And thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Armstrong, Pastor Armstrong, for having me on.
Hey, no problem. And this is what I want you to do, Natasha. While we're getting Laura Sha to tell the audience about herself, I want you to go to the comments and I want you to type in some contact information about yourself. Let the people know the name of your book. If there is a website, please list that. Also, your social media contact information. We want that to be a part of the comments here. So when people come back in the future and look at this and the replay, they can have all of your contact information. Okay. Thank you so much. All right, Miss Laura Sha, come on, tell the audience something about yourself and your businesses.
First, I want to apologize for everyone. I had some dates messed up, but we here now, right?
That's right, we're
So I
here.
am driving. So thank you for having me, Mr. Carl. I always appreciate you and everything you do for the community. So I appreciate you for allowing me to be on your platform. And I am Laurasha Lovett, as he said. I don't know about that part about speaking my mind, but I am the co-owner of Artistry Lather. We are a bath and body company, and we do bath bombs and body butters and all of that good stuff. But prior to that, I was a Marine once a Marine, always a Marine, for 12 and a half years, and I'm retired out. So after that, I went into entrepreneur because I was like, look, I'm done working for the man. I want to just enjoy myself and be home with my kids because I did miss a lot of my older kids' life due to the military life. So I started working for myself, and I dove right in and learned the ins and outs of business. And I have landed in my sweet spot, which is being a hand maker, a crafter. And I love what I do because it allowed me to be expressive in my creativity. And it allowed me to be home with my kids and not have to go to work and be more a stay-at-home mom that I was like, wow, this is what this is like. Okay. And we enjoy it and we love it. And I just can't wait to dive in and tell a little bit more about me. I'm from South Carolina, a wife, mother, all those things that was mentioned. Wife, mother, author. I wrote a book a couple years ago about my life, and that's it for now. I don't know. It's like nervous when you're talking about yourself because you're like, I'm in this every day.
Well, thank you for that tremendous introduction. And we're going to ask some questions. This is the first question I have. And either one of you can take it. When did you know that you had what it takes to be an entrepreneur, business owner? I mean, what was it and when was it that just made you say, boom, I have to do this and this is what I'm gonna do? Whoever wants to take it first.
You want to go ahead? Oh, I got okay. I was like, I've been a Marine. Okay, I'm a Marine. I done some of the toughest of things. And I'm like, how bad can entrepreneurship be? The fact that I want to work for myself and the fact that I want to spend time with my kids. Oh, let me tell you, I'd rather go back and be a Marine than a business owner. But I do love the rewards when they do come. Yes.
Oh wow, that's awesome. And Laura Sha, I want you to do the same thing when you get a chance. I want you to go to the comments and write some stuff, some contact information when you get a chance so that the audience
Okay.
can see. All right, thank you so much.
Will
All right,
do.
Natasha, tell us, how did you know and when was it that you said, boom, I have to do the entrepreneur thing?
I would say it was last year. It was last year, right after we were asked to participate in this book project in July, and the book was finished, completed, and on the shelf October 2nd. 75 days to be exact, from start to finish, from the initial text message, phone calls until completion. After we finished, and I was like, wow, I just put my testimony out for everyone to see. It really made me begin to think about my life without the Army. Not life after the Army, but the life without the Army, and what that would be like and what it could be like. Moving to New England, the New England area where we're at now, had me thinking that. And so last year in October, I was like, hey, I really want to do this. I spoke to some of my close friends. I talked to my husband about it. And in January, I remember it was a Saturday morning. I just woke up and I was like, yep, started my LLC. And I just went from there.
That is simply amazing. Now, let me ask you this. Now, there are several people who do what you do. There have been a few different authors on this program. They've written books. Laura Sha, you're not the first person who deals with fabrics and works with artistry of your hands. What makes you, and Natasha, I'm going to start with you first. What makes you different? What makes you the person, Miss Natasha, where I want to go and buy the book that you wrote? I want to sit up under you to get some mentorship, some coaching, and all that good stuff. What is that pizzazz that you have that makes us want to shop with you?
I would say it's the authenticity, unapologetically being me. What a lot of people have seen of me is, you know, a person that always has it together, so strong, never wavering. But to be able to see that the person behind this shield and behind the 15 mask that I wear is a human that hurts, that grieves, that, you know, seeks love from different directions is so much. And what I found is that, you know, I could do like most, sell the book and try and get the profit, but the message, it is about the message. We're talking about mental health. So my testimony, my personal journey I shared getting through the pandemic had to do with my mental health, something that we don't speak about a lot in the Black community. We talk about prayer, and I believe in the Almighty God Himself, and I believe in prayer, but I also believe in getting help when needed. And to see where someone who you put on a pedestal, you know, the world may put on a pedestal, or you put yourself on a pedestal, is what I did. And to see it just come tumbling down and crash, how did she survive that? You talk about faith, forward action, and trust in Him. You talk about pushing. So that's what makes it different for me. It's about the message. How can I help someone else so they don't have to, you know, struggle, so they don't have to be in that lion's den alone. So they'll know that there's somebody out there that was also there as well.
Oh wow, thank you. I like that. Okay, Miss Laura Sha, what makes what you do so different than everybody else? Why should we be shopping with you?
Uh, my affirmations that I tell myself every day and that I truly believe, because I'm the secret sauce. It's me. There's only one me. And so, and I am very special. And I know that if you knew my story, and when you know my story and you see what I've been through and know that I don't look like what I've been through, and that I have tenacity and grit, and I'm also loving and warm-hearted, and to help any and everyone, and I believe in community and support and love. When you like learn my heart and learn who I am to my core, you like, oh, I don't want to shop with nobody else. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then the uniqueness that we bring with our product, and the care and knowledge and education that we do behind it. We don't just sell you a product. We make sure that the things that we're putting in our product is great for your skin. We make sure the things that we are giving you is going to bring you joy and happiness at the end of the day. You are our core focus. So we don't think about us and putting money in our pocket. We think about the joy and the love and the happiness that our product brings. But at the end of the day, it's me. I'm the secret sauce, because you got to see me to see the products. Like, right. That's how it is.
That is great. And I tell you, if you don't have that kind of confidence, you probably shouldn't be in business for yourself. You got to see yourself as a secret sauce, right? Now, we have a question from the audience, and this is good. Miss Marcia Thompson, she says, what advice would you both give to someone who is on the fence about jumping out on faith and becoming a business owner? Laura Sha, I'm going to give that question to you first.
Oh, okay. I teach this to my handmakers who are in my group. I tell them, right, if you have a family that's dependent on you, and you have income that you have to bring in, I do believe in jumping out on faith and jumping feet first, but I also believe in responsibility. So when you make that leap, also have some financial responsibility, where you can, when you make that leap and decide to leave your job, that you can leave comfortably and have a savings to where for 6 months while you're grinding hard, you have something that can cover your bill. Because I also believe in being responsible as well when you're jumping and making this leap. But then the other thing I say is, what are you going to lose by not jumping? Everything. Because you're going to always be what if, should I, woulda, coulda. But what are you going to gain by making that jump? you're going to gain everything, because you're going to know that you can do this, and you're going to push yourself because there's something already in you that's telling you to do it. Feed the baby and go grow it.
Mm. Feed the baby and go grow it. Wow. I won't forget that one. All right, Miss Natasha, what about you? The question was, what advice would you both give to someone who was on the fence about jumping out on faith and becoming a business owner?
That's a good question. Thank you, Marcia. I saw where Miss Monica said, you know, you have to have belief in yourself. That's true. That starts there. I was speaking to my brother Bernard House this morning, and I was talking to him about a friend who was they were on the fence about what to do next. And for me, it was literally about, you know what, I can't make a right now decision. Um, because what tends to happen is you're not thinking about everything else that's around you. It's about the lifetime and what that's going to look like. For me, I jumped head in, but I knew there was something that God was calling me to do, and everything around what I was doing, whether it was doing webinars with the book, writing in the book. I'm currently working on my solo book for myself. Um, you know, I was like, I got to do this, but I know it was not about that 10-meter target, 30-minute target. I was looking at the 300-meter target. So you're talking about generational wealth. What is this going to look like for my children down the line? What does it look like for my family down the line? You know, you talk about communication with those in your household. So this is something, you know, I had to sit down with my husband and talk to him about. So he knew that, hey, I'm jumping in, I'm diving in. But if I begin to sink, you know, I know that I got that support system to pull me up.
Wow. Now, here's a question that I wanted to ask, and Laura Sha, I'm going to start with you on this one. Because it takes so much creativity to do what you do with designing clothing and stuff like that. I'm wondering, where do the ideas come from? Somebody like me who was not blessed with that level of creativity is really fascinating to me to get inside the mind of someone who can take something out of the abstract, right? You can see it in your mind, but then you can make your hands to make it look like what your mind sees. And so I'm trying to get inside of your mind. I don't know how dangerous that is, but
Oh, it's chaos. Okay. Look,
what's
white
your
jacket,
process?
hug yourself.
What's your
It's chaos
process?
in my mind. I don't think people, a lot of people don't believe me until they actually see me in the process. I've shown a lot of behind the scenes. But honestly, my gifts I have are God given, because I knew how to design and sew before I even went to fashion school. It
Mm.
was literally a gift. He'll give it to me in a dream. I 3D see things. Like, I don't know if y'all hear like musicians who say like they see notes or they see colorways when they're designing. I 3D put things together with clothes like in the air. That what's that movie? The Christmas movie, where she was seeing things in the air. He was with I think Forrest Whitaker, where he was seeing like pieces in the air when he was designing the toy.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see clothing. I can't explain it. All I know is the God-given gift. I've been doing fashion and being creative and drawing since elementary, middle school. I used to have girls pay me in middle school to cut their jeans and draw on their legs and make bubble letters. I was like, these girls really paid me to do this. Like, so I've been doing it for a long time, but it really is a God gift that does it. And then I had to go to fashion school to learn how to put the professionalism, the couture touches, the designs, the structure to my chaotic creative thinking, if that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense to me. And thank you for sharing that. I'm very interested in everybody's process. And I'm going to ask a very similar question to you, Natasha. When it came to the book is the tangible thing that we see. But I want you to know the entrepreneurs, I know the see, there we go. entrepreneurs are dynamic, really creative people. You probably got 4 or 5 other things going on they just haven't brought to the forefront yet. So when it came to you writing this book, Pivot, I would imagine that the idea came from your experiences, but what was your process for putting that together in a readable format?
For me, I know that we were given guidelines on how much we could and couldn't write in terms of length. So that was good because now I have some boundaries. And just like Laura Sha, God speaks to me and He gives me things to say. When I was first asked to do it, I was going to put a fluff story in there because, again, I still have the walls up and not letting people into my space. But it wasn't until I was put back into the lion's den, right? I was in that valley and I couldn't come out the valley. And God said, this is the story that you will tell because there are some people that need help from this. And when I write, I just write. I just start beginning to flow and the words begin to come and I'm feeling it and I'm seeing it and it's like, boom, it's done. And so I just go through and I clean it up. And I don't know, honestly, where that gift came from. Before this current assignment, I was working as a speech writer. That is not my professional job. But having to write for someone else, having to get inside someone else's head and still make sure that message resonates. That's what I had to do with this book. So in my portion, I wanted to make sure that the story I was telling would resonate. Not so much about me, but what does this look like for every other person that's going to read this? And so, that's where it came from for me. It was strictly, and even now when I write, when I do speeches, even as I'm talking on today, I'm literally listening to God to make sure that I'm not giving you self as I'm speaking.
Right. This question was addressed to you, Natasha, but I'm going to ask it to both of you. And Natasha, since we got you up on the screen, I'll start with you. How do you juggle or balance a significant leadership role during your day job, right? The demands of entrepreneurship, being a wife, mother, daughter, minister, etc. In other words, all the titles that you wear, all the responsibilities that you have. And I know they're a little different between you two ladies, but we'll start with you, Natasha. How do you balance all that?
Thank you, Pastor Gary, for that. That's a setup question. He knows
That's
that
his
I
specialty.
don't. People say work-life balance. You got to have work-life balance. That is a cliche to me. There is no such thing as work-life balance. But there is a such thing as discipline, self-discipline, which I don't have. So I don't have self-discipline. Therefore, I don't have a work-life balance. I look at my life as a pie. And I decide on how many pieces I want of that pie each day, how big I want the pie to be, or how small I want it to be. So that's how I see my life. I can't say that I'm going to, you know, give all today as the wife, but I have 2 children that may be sick. Commanding troops across 4 different states. I got to focus on what's going on right now at that moment. So somebody's going to have to be on a back burner. Hubby, I need you to jump in and help me out. Hey, can you speak as a minister at one of these events? And you don't want to tell God no. So, yeah, work-life balance for me, I don't have it. Self-discipline, I need to work on it. And I always say that, and I tell people, do as I say, not as I do.
You're learning. It's part of your journey. Laura Sha, how about you with all the different
I
hats that you wear? How do you do it?
I agree with Natasha. There is no such, to me, no such thing as balance. Is like she said, discipline. And I also do the pie thing. Like, what I mean? I break my life down into pies and then I focus on that pie. So like I said, today I am business owner. Business owner get 100% of me. Tonight I am like kids are sick, they get 100% of me. So I dedicate my time and focus to whatever needs to be done at that time. but I believe in discipline, and I use planners. I will plan my minute down to the T when it comes to things that are major. My kids, we do family meetings. Like I said, I got a busy week. I got a lot of orders. This is what we're having for dinner. Everything is microwavable. Pop it in the microwave, and then next week I will spoil the heck of y'all. We in agreement? Hand in 1, 2, 3, go fam, right?
Right.
And that's how we do it. But it's the support system that we have.
She must be driving through Stafford.
That's got to be that Stafford. That's that Stafford area right there.
Yeah, it's got to be. We know she'll come back in just a moment, but yeah, man, if you're doing anything that requires a stream and you driving through Stafford, this can happen. But she probably doesn't know that she's frozen. Oh man, Gary says, not the microwave. Listen, I want to tell the audience, I really appreciate y'all. Y'all are being awesome with your questions, with your engagement. This is really, really good. So what we're going to do, we see that Laura Sha is frozen, and I'm going to hand the microphone back to Natasha. Was there anything that you had to add for that work-life balance?
Just like Laura Sha was saying, the planner works for me. I have my planner. Syncing calendars, that helps, but communicating. And she talked about that when she does the family meetings. You got to communicate with, whoever you're dealing with, or your team. And I let people know, I am not good on email. So don't email me, because you will be waiting a long time. I'll respond like 3 months later. But if you text me, send me an instant message, I'm quick to respond, because my life, I'm like this all day long, from the time I wake up until I lay down at night. And laying down at night could be after midnight, after 1, I'm back up and at it again, because that's just how my body has been. I've set my body that way. And eventually I will reset.
Mm-hmm.
When there's life without the army.
Oh, yes. Coming soon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Soon enough. I got it. So here's another question. Marcia Thompson asks, so what's next for both of you? And we'll clue Laura Sha on this when she jumps back in. What's next for both of you? How are you both going to elevate from your current positions in life? We know there is some more. Spill the deets.
Oh, that's the bestie. Oh, that's cute, Marcia.
She knows something.
She knows something. So what is next? What is next for Natasha? Natasha, like I said, work-life balance. Establishing a mental health resort.
Oh, wow.
Because we talk, when I travel, my family and I, we travel, everybody has their thing that they like to do. Son likes to make sure he has Wi-Fi so he can do all of his gaming. My daughter needs a pool. My husband, he likes to just relax, watch the news, and play poker. For me, I like to go to the spa. I decompress when I'm at the spa. I found coming back from overseas how many people were hurting when it came to mental health, anxiety, depression, and all these things. And what we generally do is we'll send them to a location. If they get offered the opportunity, we'll send them to a location where, people will sit there and prod them with the same old questions. Well, how are you feeling this day? And you're just like, you get tired of hearing it. Well, I want to go somewhere where I can just decompress. And as we're decompressing, you have people that are specialized to talk them through life, their functional life. Because there are things that we do, your routine thing is to get up in the morning, get yourself together, make up your bed, maybe grab breakfast or a cup of coffee, and you keep going. But your functional life, my functional life is I like to come home. Once I've decompressed from everything, get on my iPad. I don't like the TVs, big TVs and computers, the iPad, because that's my functional life, is to sit and just watch my TV shows, or I sit there and I play Cookie Jam. That's what I like to do.
Right.
And so I want to be able to do that in a facility for people, so they can still feel like normalcy while they're at the resort. And so who better to establish this resort than the person who needed, that mental health support, who also likes to have, those things in resort. As a person's, doing your facial, they're talking to you. So yes, this is exactly what I want. The second phase is TBD with the book pivot. We are working on a project, so I'm gonna, until God asks me to release it. But the webinars was part one, well, part two, because the book was part one, webinars part two. So to be continued on pivot.
You set yourself up for a nice retirement, but I ain't gonna mess with you. I'm not gonna mess with you. Laura Sha, I'm so sorry that we got cut off right in the
No,
middle
I
when
don't.
you was explaining the work-life balance. You probably got about 2 minutes in before you
Oh,
froze up.
okay. Well, just in essence, like we started using planners as well, so my kids are right. They know, like, mommy looks at her planner on these days, so they do mommy time. So they'll write in like, I need mommy time, and it'll just be me and them, and they know, like, the next week plan in mommy time and look at my calendar, and they all have their own colors that they write in my planner for the next week. For some moms, they might be like, you planning time with your kids. For our life, that works, because that is part of our, and I'm air quoting here, balance. So
Right.
yeah, that's how we do it.
Okay, and this is a question that Natasha already answered, but we're going to ask it to you, Laura Sha. What's next for you? How are you going to elevate from your current position in life? And the person says, we know there's something more. Spill the deets. All right.
Spill the deets. Well, one, I don't know. Well, you know what? Last Friday, we released that our products, we have exclusive items that are on Walmart.com. They're online now for Walmart. So there's 6 bundles you can buy. One of them are for moms, and then the other 5 are geared towards kids, girls, boys, unisex, all of that. And it's on Walmart.com, and you put in Artistry Lather, and they'll pop up. So we're really excited about that, because we want to partner and get our things in big box stores. So I'm honestly going at it one box at a time. And we're looking to invest in a warehouse. I'll give y'all that. That's all I can say. But we're looking to do a warehouse in Stafford area, so that way we can start going into more stores, because when we can handle a lot of units and pallets, that's when they'll entertain you more and take you more serious to put you on the shelves in their store. So that's what we're looking for Artistry Lather.
Man, this Artistry Lather, when I was reading about that, I said, I can get my soap right here and Stafford.
Absolutely.
Made with your hands. All right.
Absolutely.
Here is a question from Monica. And Laura Sha, I'm going to start this question with you. Monica wants to know what advice can both of you give regarding one operating under the table versus operating legally? How can one educate themselves? And we're talking about going from the hustle to the legitimate business.
Man, that's a loaded question. I don't know if I could share that on camera. Look. Now I ain't start legit now. IRS might be watching. You IRS over there asking that question. What's going on?
Monica, this is what you had to hook up with Laura Sha.
Right? But I would say for anyone who's starting out in business, I honestly feel, and this is my personal opinion, please, business gurus and stuff, don't beat me up. I'm just talking from my personal experience. I didn't start legit. I actually started doing things under the table, because I did it for a number of reasons. I want to make sure I can keep this thing going. I want to make sure I can make sure that what I'm doing I like. I want to tweak some things. I want to make sure I'm speaking to my audience before I start investing a lot of money the legit way. Because when you start doing legit ways, honey, it's first, second, third quarter taxes due. It's especially in Stafford, Virginia, we got to pay property tax on equipment and things like that. So I wanted to make sure I was in it for the long haul before I went legit. And the moment I said, okay, this is it, God's talking to me, I went legit. I did all the necessary things I need to do, but I wanted to make sure what I wanted to do before I did that.
Wow. All right. How about you, Natasha? What advice would you give for somebody
Oh,
starting out as a hustle versus going to get the
I'm not gonna knock
LLC?
the hustle. I'm not gonna knock the hustle. You got to start somewhere. And for those of us, I'm glad that we have self-righteous people on here that do it the right way. But I'm with Laura Sha. When I did one online, legal Zoom, and I'm like, wait, I got to pay for what? Wait, wait. I done made my own picture. Well, do you have the trademark? It's got to be, make sure it's true. And I'm like, I got to pay for that for something I designed.
Right.
I got to find somebody to build a website, but I got to make sure that I was like, you know what? So what I'm going to do is everything this year is going to be out of my pocket. So I'm going to do it out of my pocket because like Laura Sha say, they're like, hey, first quarter, second quarter, third, fourth quarter taxes. It's a lot. I'm not given an income where I can be, trying to pay everybody. I'm thankful that I have, we have done well over the past few years financially, that if this tanks, okay, so be it. But I see it. I don't see it tanking. It's a blessing.
Hmm.
So I ain't knocking the hustle.
That is great. That is great. So we got a lot of information out of you ladies, and this has been so far so good. And audience, I certainly appreciate you because you have been excellent with these questions. And it's great when the audience gets involved because you're hearing directly from your current or prospective customers. And that is great. Now, this is what I want you to do. And I'm going to start with you, Natasha, on this one. I want you to speak directly to the people that I call the dreamers. These are the people that haven't yet started their business. Maybe they're a little nervous, or maybe they started, they got out there, they got slapped around a little bit, and they may be a little nervous about going out there. What would you say to them as far as, and I know we spoke to it a little bit earlier about, getting out there on faith, but when it comes to just, hey, man, it's time to do it. There was something that clicked in you that let you know it was time to do it. What would you say to the dreamers?
Come join the Army and become an Army recruiter, and you'll learn all about stepping out on faith. uh, I believe that this assignment, why am I coming here? First, God, you put me in South Korea away from my comfort zone. And then when you bring me back to the States, you put me in New England. There's nobody here that I know of that lives in New England. And so I was like, wow. And now I'm around recruiters, Army recruiters, where people are constantly telling them, no, no, no. Thank you for your service, but no. That's the same thing with us with our dreams. You think about Joseph. He had a dream. You can't tell everybody your dreams. Everybody ain't gonna rock with you. Everybody's not gonna be on team. Tasha, they just not gonna do that, and that's okay. But it's your dream,
Mhm.
And you gotta understand you're gonna hit some hiccups. You're gonna hit some no's coming at it. Everything is not gonna go your way. You can be walking around like, hey, I got the financing, and that's great. But we don't want to give you the line of credit because you're a woman, or because you're Black, or because you live on this side of town. You have to be prepared for that. So you got to gird yourself with enough fortitude and understanding that it's not just you. And if it's your dream, then go after it. Because one thing I learned about dreams is I get dreams, but I get the same visions that come over and over and over. And then I'm like, you know what? That's just confirmation right there. Let me go ahead and do it. And so when I sat out there and I put it out there, I said, I'm done. Jim is done, the LLC, and I did it. I was like, okay, now I got to really act upon it.
Wow.
That was it.
Wow. That's amazing. And Laura Sha, I'm going to ask you the same thing. Like, what would you say to the dreamers, those who may be afraid to get out there, or maybe they've started before, they lost money, maybe it wasn't a good experience, but they know that they ought to be out there doing their own thing, what would you say to them?
I would say you already know, right? You got it in you. It's bubbling in your spirit no matter how much you shake it. No matter how much long you depress it, all that, it's in you. Fulfill it. Keep going. Rock that thing till the wheels fall off. Then you have to talk to your family, have support. If they not supporting you, I'm a firm believer in, okay, cool, I'm going to get with somebody who support me. Then you surround yourself with like-minded business people who will support you and help you through things. I believe in investing because I don't know everything. I've invested in business coaching, finance coaching, branding coaching, all types of different trainings and things because I don't know everything and you don't know what you don't know. And so until, just like she said, your dream is your dream. I done told people my dreams and they've been like, nah, I don't think that'll work. I don't know how y'all gonna do that. And one of them was, I'm gonna get in Walmart. They were like, you ain't been in business long enough for that. And I was like, okay. And I just kept my head down and I kept going and I kept pushing because my dream is my dream. And the thing that God says to me is for me. Because I could tell anybody what I want to do and everything, but if you don't believe it, it's not gonna happen. So keep doing your dream, keep moving forward. Don't let nobody stop you. I love to look at people's story. It took what, Miss Tabitha Brown 23 years before she hit a peak, but she kept going because she knew in her hearts of hearts when she was 19, 20 years old, she wanted to be a big star who did X, Y, and Z. 23 years before y'all people even knew who Mother of America was. So the question is, are you doing it because you want gratification and people to validate you, or are you doing it because you know God called you to do that and that's something you want to do and that's a passion? If you're doing it for the second reason that I said, keep going. If you do it for the first one, you always gonna fail, because looking for people to like satisfy you and validate you, that ain't gonna get you nowhere. But when you do it because you know it's supposed to and it's in your heart and you can't shake it no matter what, and you dream it, eat it, sleep it, breathe it, everything, it's going to work because you're gonna put your all into it. It's just a matter of putting the pieces together so it'll work for you. But don't stop. And don't be telling dream killers either. Let me tell you something. You tell somebody a dream and they be like, I don't know if that can help. Be like, the bus stop here, baby. And you don't be telling dream killers because people like to project their lack of onto you. And we, as people, human nature, we take that, especially if there's someone you love and you take their advice and you consider them a strong in your support system. So if you got dream killers around you, shut it out and keep on going. So
that's right. And listen, you got some feedback from the audience. Gary Holland says, this is good stuff. Thanks so much for the encouragement from both of these amazing business leaders. Monica says, exactly. Others' no's are not your no's. Monica, I agree 1000%. Marcia Thompson says, mind your business and your business will come. Dream big, dream often, and empower your dream to become reality. That's her daily affirmation. I'm gonna have to. I'm not gonna steal it, but I'm gonna borrow it. I'll give it back one day. After I wear it out, I'll give it back. And Bernard House says, love this. I have really enjoyed watching Natasha turn a dream into reality. Such an inspiration. Continue to speak the truth. I tell you something, I'm going to turn the microphone over to you ladies in just a minute for final words. But one thing that I'm learning about the entrepreneurs, the business owners, a lot of times from the outset, we have an idea of what it will look like. And sometimes when we do that, we paint ourselves into a box. And sometimes that box is unrealistic and it's unachievable because that vision that you see is not based upon actual experience. It's just what you think it's going to be. But when you get into it, you find out there's some things that you knew nothing about, which throws all new nuances into what has to be done to achieve what you need to achieve. Also, success does not necessarily look like perfection. And the older I get, I'm becoming more and more wise to that. Man, listen, so much of this stuff is put together with what we have at the time. And we really can't compare ourselves to anybody else. They may have started at a different place in their life. They may have different support systems, but you have to go with what you have, you and your support system. And as you get your feet in the water and get a little bit of experience, you'll learn what to do to fix a little here, fix a little there. You know what I mean? You build as you go. I would just encourage people, if you know this is what you want to do, don't be afraid. My dad would tell my brother and I, fear no man. I remember being a little boy, and to this day, I just don't fear people. Just don't. You know, I'm not saying I don't have any fears. People ain't one of them. How about that? So that's where I am. Monica says, I always say, handle your business. Don't let your business handle you. Amen to that. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn the microphone over to you ladies for final remarks. Maybe there was an area I didn't touch that maybe you want to get some information out about. You may just want to tell the audience something else about you and your business, but I'm going to be quiet. We'll go with Natasha first and then Laura Sha.
Thank you, sir. This has been an awesome opportunity. As I'm gaining more confidence to speak out openly, breaking down these barrier walls, being unapologetically being me, and people having to accept me for who I am, not for who you want me to be. You know, so I have to tell people that from here on out, this is me. Pivot means to change, like it's supposed to be like an immediate change. So many of us looked at the pandemic as something negative, right? Because we had people dying. We were losing loved ones. We didn't get to travel. What pivot did for me and what the pandemic did was allow me to have to stop. I had to physically stop, like everything that I was used to doing, the moving and all these different things, so that I could hear clearly what God was trying to tell me. And for those of you that are Christian believers, if you go out and you read about how, you know, Jesus, whenever he needed to think clearly, he would always have to go out away from everyone else. That's how I see myself in South Korea, away from everyone else. That's how I see myself now in New England, away from everyone else, so I can think clearly. The change is coming, and it's immediate. I don't wait anymore. Y'all have to excuse me because I've been flying for the past 3 weeks. So that
Understood.
air.
I'm over here struggling too.
But for me, the pandemic did something more than just bring up death. It brought about an immediate change. And so I really began to pivot with my life. I started looking at, I can be just as great in the military as well as out of the military. I'm a great wife. I'm a great mother, a good friend, great friend. And I just have to be me, unapologetically me, true and authentic. This is what you get. So for those of you that have dreams, we don't know how long it actually really took Joseph. We don't really talk about the years. We just say he was young here, he went to prison here, you know, and then it happened. Same thing with Miss Tabitha Brown, you know, 23 years. Don't look at somebody else's success as your success. You know, it's going to happen for you if you want it to happen for you. Take this opportunity now. This webinar was started for Black History Month only. And look at how it's progressing to something thereafter. It can happen for any one of us that's on this line. So thank you so much for allowing me to be on here. Thank you, Pastor Holland, for putting my name out there. We will talk about those questions later, sir. I'm going to talk about you in one of the most sermon speeches.
That's right. That's right.
Be the glory. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Laura Sha.
Man, like she said, don't look at no one else's success and journey as yours. Because what a lot of people don't look at is we've been living life, going through trials and tribulations to get to the point that we are. Everything we've done and been through, every pain, every heartache, every up, every down, every left, every right, every everything has brought us to this moment, and the same for you. Everything that you have endured in your life has brought you to that moment and will take you to the next step in your life. The question is, and what I like to ask people is, are you paying attention to the tools in your box, or are you looking in somebody else's box? Because when I get laser focused, you know how they have on the horse where they can't look nowhere and they can only see what's in front of them. Sometimes you gotta block the noise. Like she said, she was removed. You gotta block the noise and look in your own toolbox and look at your own things and write down the great things about you. Cause what I went through, you'd probably be like, girl, I couldn't handle that. But then what you went through, I'd be like, oh, no. But everybody's tools are different. And my grandma always said, you got to play the hand you got, and you got to trade some cards in where you can. Look, I'm from the South. You know, we gambled and all that. I ain't about to sit up here and give it like I do. No. Look, and so you just gotta play with the hand you're dealt with and trade a few cards in along the way and make it work for you. But if you want it, you can have it. It's just putting in the work. Putting in the work.
That's right. That's right. What part of South Carolina are you from, Laura Sha?
I'm from Greenville, upstate.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I got people in Sumter, Columbia,
Oh,
Florence, Darlington, all that area. Yeah.
I got some people in all them areas too. We
Yeah.
might be cousins along the line. I don't know.
Probably. Look, we sit down and get to talk about this family history. Ain't no telling.
Right? Yeah.
Well, ladies, listen. You have made episode 13 a tremendous success. I absolutely love what you brought to the table. Your stories are tremendous, and I didn't share this with you before, but I will now. What I'm learning is that the connection with our entrepreneurs and the audience is not just about your business, your products, and your services. You'd be surprised how many people really get inspired by your stories. And it is your stories that inspire them to become business owners. I really can't wait for the day when I'm interviewing like the second and third generation of business owners. In other words, people who came to this show as viewers and went out and started their businesses and now are part of this platform that way because they got inspired here. I'm looking forward to that, and I want to thank you for being a part of that. You really are inspiring people, and it is an amazing thing. Jana Lewis says this was awesome. Monica says thank you, Miss Clarke and Miss Lather. Your words were truly inspiring. Be blessed. And Howard Falls says awesome. You ladies have covered a lot of ground. Thank you for your life lessons. And Jana also she said that unapologetically me. And I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not, but I hear that Marcia Thompson has just started her business. Now, Marcia, I just can't believe that you have sat here in this audience knowing that you are a business owner and you have not yet reached out to me to come on to the Heart for the Community Initiative Black Business Spotlight. Oh, my feelings are so hurt. Are we not?
I will connect y'all.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. And look, she says, you got her. Well, Marcia, I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Laura Sha and Natasha, I want you to know this does not have to be a one-hitter quitter. I see this as a partnership with Heart for the Community Initiative and your businesses. So if there's ever anything that we can do for you, if you're advertising, you got something coming out, maybe there's another book, maybe there, I know that you're getting ready, Laura Sha, to do a big event. If you need for us to help you to promote those things, get me a flyer. You all have my information. You know how to contact me. We would love to be in business with you. All right. So just let us know. This does not have to be a one-time thing unless that's what you desire this to be. All right.
Blessing. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, ladies. Thank you so much, audience. I do thank you. I appreciate your time this evening. I do pray that something that was shared today will be beneficial to you and your business life. May God bless you. May heaven smile upon you. Episode 14 is somewhere in the future. I'll announce it once I got it. All right. Until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Bye-bye for now.